Hey everybody, Mega Roller 31 back here for FSi DFS. Welcome to the final day of the regular season for baseball. Thank you so much for still tuning in and watching us. It's been 181 days if you've been grinding out through the regular season. McKinley and I have been doing it throughout the preseason also. So here's the thing. Today's slate is starting at 4:05, and every single team is playing. But because there's a doubleheader with Toronto and Baltimore, DK has taken that one off, and FanDuel doesn't have it either. So a lot of teams playing today, and I'm not going to do a traditional video and you're like, what on earth is on the screen? This is not the spreadsheet we usually have. It's because we really don't know what lineups are going to be. What's up here is I just pulled up RotoWire. This is free. This is not like a subscription or anything. You can go and check projected lineups there, weather information stuff. It's a decent resource to use just to look at if you're trying to build your lineups early in the morning, if you want to put some placeholders in. So I'm just going to go through game by game and just kind of look at and talk about some situational things here. So here's what we're going to do. For FSI, just as a thank you for everybody for making an incredibly successful season with watching our videos and people coming and signing up. We're going to open up baseball for free starting today. So you'll be able to go and subscribe to Major League Baseball. You'll probably have to do a monthly subscription and then just renew it. Probably. No, actually, we should be able to carry through. I don't think the World Series will go past November 5th. So yeah, you'll just go sign up for a month. You'll be good for this slate today and through the rest of the postseason. So just as a kind of a thank you for your support, and it's a good thing too because you'll be getting in our Discord and you'll be able to see the alerts so when we're ready to start spring training next year, which we usually do for free also. And you'll be able to check out all the other cool things we do at FSI. So, start here with first game, Angels and Oakland, Ohtani and Waldichuk. I think Ohtani's going to be the most popular pitcher on the slate. He wants to go out there. He wants to prove. I don't think he's going to win an MVP up against Judge in his amazing season. Congratulations, Aaron Judge, hitting your 62nd home run. And in my heart is the true home run champion, not just because I'm a Yankees fan, but I think he did it the right way until somebody proves elsewise. So I know there'll be a lot of debate of that for years, but anyways, doesn't matter. Incredible feat in an era this year where we talked about the dead ball. There wasn't many home runs early on in the season. It just seemed like they were using a baseball that just wasn't going as far as it has in the past couple seasons where we thought the ball was more juice. So congratulations, Aaron. Thank you for giving us some things to look forward to, and I think this is gonna be a great postseason too. So a lot of good things there. But anyways, back to Ohtani. I think he's gonna be the top pitcher on the slate. I think he's gonna go out there. I think there's gonna be no leash on him. And he's got a great matchup against Oakland. I think he's probably gonna be the safest one to play as your SP1 there. Waldichuk on their side, not interested. Angels, depending. You could probably stack some righties here. Rendon's only been getting a couple at bats and then getting pulled, so I don't know if I'm really super interested in there. Maybe if I can fit him in, there should be a lot of value on the slate with pitchers. Maybe just take like Trout as one off. You can't play Ohtani, so on the A side, not super interested here at all. If you're playing 150 today and you want a leverage stack, then maybe a 1-2%. But other than that, not interested. Yankees in Texas. Yankees, and here's the first team that's going to have a bye that we're going to have to talk about. My guess is that they roll out the full lineup here. Maybe Judge gets the day off unless they want to try to see if he can push history out even further and hit, 63, 64 home runs. But in Texas, says they're going to pitch to him, so we'll see what happens there. But if the Yankees roll out their normal lineup against Glenn Otto, I think I'm fine stacking them in probably a GPP. Herman, I think, again, is somebody too. The Yankees going to have like 6 or 7 days off because they have the first round bye. So I think, he's not going to be part of the front of the rotation. So I think, he'll be able to go out there and probably at least get like 85, 90 pitches against the Texas team. So I think he's definitely in play. So keep him in the player pool. Glenn Otto on the other side, not interested at all. Texas bats, not interested at all. And the Yankees, if they put out the full lineup, like I said, GPP. St. Louis at Pittsburgh here. Yeah, Libertor and Oviedo. Libertor not interested in. Oviedo, if St. Louis rolls out uh, watered down, rested lineup because they will be playing in the wild card, so they will be playing 2 days from now. So if you don't have some of the big bats in here like Goldschmidt or Arenado, then I think Oviedo is a decent SP2 candidate, a decent young pitcher. It's good pitching park. I know the wind's blowing out a little bit there, so that's someone to consider if you're looking for cheap SP2. For St. Louis, bat wise, if they roll out the full lineup, then I'm okay. Probably go a little more lefties like Donovan Newbar, probably Goldsmith, and then maybe like a Dickerson or somebody, depending on who they have out there. If they rest Arenado and have like another one of the lefty bats off the bench in there, that makes it even better. Pittsburgh bats against Libertor. They're cheap, so maybe like Reynolds, Castro, Andahar, if delay, wraparound stack there. So O'Neill Cruz has struggled against lefties, so I don't think he'll lead off or even be. You'll probably see another righty lead off against the lefty here. So that's pretty much for that game. The Toronto Baltimore, like you said, not looking forward to. 60% chance of rain, as you can see there, and Boston, wind blowing in. So Fleming, not interested in. I think they're just trying to get him back in a little bit, and he'll have plans for next year for him. They are in the playoffs, so I don't know. Maybe they'll give Fleming some leash, because here's the other thing is that most of these teams want to keep their bullpen intact, so they don't want to use that much. So you might see Fleming in a combination of like other like kind of like starter guys that they have. They got a lot of young arms. Maybe they called some guys up before the game just to go out there and throw them just so that they can send them back and don't have to use up their bullpen. And again, the lineup, you'll have to see who they roll out there against Pivetta. I think Pivetta will go out there, but not too long. But then again, like this is not a really great hitting situation here. So with the wind blowing in, and we'll have to see what the weather is too. So these pitchers, I don't know. I still think I'll play Fleming. And if the weather gets a little bit better, then maybe some of these Red Sox, I think they'll go out there and want to, play a last game for the fans and everything at home. But I just think I'm going to pass on this. All the other teams playing, I don't think I'm going to be really, really sneaky here. And this really, it's something that piques my interest, but not something that I'm just like, ooh, this could be the spot. So next up, we have Minnesota and the White Sox here. So Verland, not really interested in. Davis Martin is a prospect. He's not like a high level prospect, but he's decent. So Minnesota, if there's not a ton of power here, Correa a little bit, but it's righty. Ariza has some. Gordon's probably the only one you really like to worry about. So I think you can keep Davis Martin in your player pool. On the other side here, like bat wise for the White Sox, there's an 8-run total here, so it's one of the higher totals on the slate so far. We don't have all the totals because like we don't know, like some of these pitchers could change and stuff. So I think if you want like Sheets and Peyton's got some power, hasn't shown it really yet, but maybe today's the day they hits like 2 home runs. I think a White Sox like mini stack, or if you want to go full stack, because Minnesota's bullpen, I think there could be opportunities there. I think it's in play, but I think we're looking more of a GPP. It's got one of probably the higher temperatures on the slate and one of the better hitting conditions on the slate, and the winds are blowing right to left, but for some reason if they like switch and start blowing out, then definitely something to look at. So Martin potentially, White Sox potentially. If Minnesota is usually a cheap stack too, probably stick with more of the lefties here. They're in play also, but again, a little bit more interesting, I think, than the Tampa Bay Boston game, but nothing that's like super, super interesting here. Okay, Kansas City and Cleveland. Easily no. Savale, potentially. Again, I think they want to preserve their bullpen and everything there. He's not going to be probably, maybe have to start on like Sunday if it's all hands on deck, but I think they have enough things that they probably like cobble together there to, and they have Tampa Bay, so I think Cleveland might be able to, behind Bieber and McKenzie, win both those games. So I don't even know if it's going to go to the third and final deciding game, but we'll see on that one. Heasley and correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I do believe the way that these wild card games work is like the whole series would be played in Cleveland. So let me just look that up quick here. So, yeah, so they don't travel. So, I mean, it's going to be all home games. So I think that definitely is a huge advantage for them also. So we'll see who they roll out here. If they roll out the normal lineup, then bat-wise, I think they're in a great spot here. 72 degrees, decent weather for baseball. Kansas City on the other side, I'm not super interested in them. Maybe Pescatino if you're looking for a cheap first baseman, depending on what his pricing is. Definitely has some power. But other than that, not really super interested. So Savali, probably not playing as a pitcher, although he could go probably a little bit deeper than some. And the Cleveland Bats, if the full lineup's there, then maybe interested. Milwaukee and Diamondbacks, we don't know if Corbin Burns is going to go here. There's really no reason for him to go, but Lauer did go and actually went pretty deep into the game yesterday. So if Burns goes out there again for the home fans, want to end the season, disappointing. They were so close to the playoffs, maybe get some momentum to build upon next year. Then, if he's in there, even at 85 or 90 pitches, I think he's got enough against this Arizona lineup. If they're throwing just a bullpen game out there, then I think I'd like the Arizona Bats. Kelly, he had a stretch where he was decent. It all depends on what the Milwaukee lineup is. So if he is out there, then I think maybe he could be an SP2 candidate for you. If Milwaukee doesn't throw out their prime lineup, but if they do put their prime lineup in, I think they're definitely Milwaukee Bats could be in consideration in another GPP stack that I'd like. Arizona, I think it would be a nice, cheap fill-in stack there if Milwaukee is going to bench Burns and just throw out a bunch of random pitchers at him. Okay, Detroit and Seattle. So Marco Gonzalez has been very volatile, but I think here, again, Seattle wants to preserve their bullpen. I think against this Detroit lineup here, I think that he definitely will be a very popular SP2 against Detroit. So I think you'll see a lot of Ohtani Gonzalez lineups if people don't pay up for two pitchers and go Ohtani and Burns if he's in, or Ohtani and I think Kershaw is going to be a very popular option because he should go, but we'll get to that in a few minutes when we get that game. So, Tyler Alexander, not interested on the other side. Marco Gonzalez have high interest as an SP2. Detroit Bats, they just be leverage. I just take some of the righties here, like Baez, Cabrera. I don't know how much longer he's going to go. Torkelson is a good young talent. Haas, if he's in there, also had a little bit of a hot streak recently. So there's some bats for you. If Seattle rolls out their full lineup to keep everything in tune against Alexander, I love the righties here. And I think Seattle could be probably my favorite stack on the slate here. With J-Rod, they want to continue to get him bats. France, Hanger, Suarez, Moore. I definitely like a Seattle stack here. Cincinnati and Chicago. This is an interesting game because the winds are blowing out. It's a Great American Small Park, 76 degrees, great hitting weather here. Grant Ashcroft is not a good pitcher. Sampson on the other side, even with the weather condition I just talked about, I think he's in consideration for SP2 also. If you want to pivot off of Gonzalez, he's not been bad this season, and Cincinnati has pretty much watered down their lineup. Fraley is the only one really left that I would really be concerned about. So I think Sampson makes a good choice here. Ashcroft, like I said, no. Bat-wise, I think, Chicago stack, righty or lefty. This Quizero that's leading off is super cheap. I don't know. He's had 8 at-bats. He's struck out 3 of them. I think he's had, 1 hit. So I think he had a stolen base also. So it looks like there's some speed there. So I don't know. Maybe throw it in if you're doing a GPP stack of them. But, Suzuki, Contreras, Happ, I think, is a great play here. Honer, McKinstry. So just see how the lineup is. I think Chicago's stack is definitely in, or maybe mix like Chicago and Seattle as your stack. Um, if you're paying up for both pitchers, I think there's enough salary there. You'll be able to get those in. Cincinnati on the other side, not really interested in. Like, you look at the lineups, almost all right-handed here against Samson. Even though it could be a good hitting environment, I don't think I'm going to be interested there. Philly and Houston, Falter and Valdez. Again, Falter might be left out there to go pretty deep because they want to rest their bullpen. But I think you see a full Houston lineup here as I think Dusty Baker has indicated that maybe like Altuve's off and Durbin leads off, but that's a great value there against lefty and Falter. But Houston's going to have the 6 days off or whatever through the first round, so they want to stay fresh. And so I think you see the full A line of, or maybe like one or two guys rested, but I think you see a pretty healthy Houston line. So no thank you for Falter. And Valdez, again, I think they want to get him out there. He's had a decent season. I think you might see. They rested a lot of guys from Philly yesterday, but we'll see what that lineup is. But I think Valdez is definitely in consideration for an SP1 here or an SP2 if you're paying up for both of them. I'd like Burns a little bit better, but I think he and Kershaw, but I think he's definitely in play here depending on what the Philly lineup looks like. And then Philly, if they roll out their regular lineup, I'm still not interested a ton against Valdez. If you want to go GPP stack, taking the righties like Hoskins and Baum and Real Muto and Castellanos and Schwarber, I think is decent lefty sometimes too. So I'm okay with that. But again, that's just a GPP for me. And this Houston stack, if you have the money, I think is definitely one to especially just load up on the righties here. I think definitely a cash worthy stack up there with like probably Seattle. Next up, we have Washington and the Mets. 25% chance of rain here. I doubt we see Jacob deGrom at all. Like, he's probably going to be the pitcher on Friday to lead off the wild card series for them. Fedde on the other side, no interest either. Mets, they've been playing for the title. They finally, for the division, they finally bowed out yesterday. So you'll probably see a lot of guys resting here. So I'm not really interested much in this game at all. Unless you get the full Mets lineup there against Fedde, then I think that's something to look at. But with like 25% range, it doesn't tell you which direction the winds are, but it's more of a pitcher's park than a hitter's park. Not that that's going to help Fedde at all, but still. So, I mean, if you want to take some one-offs like Vogelbach or Naquin or, O'Neill or McNeil, if they're in the lineup, the lefties against Fedde, I'm okay with that. Really nobody on this Washington side that I really want to take against whoever the Mets throw out there. So it's going to kind of move on for that one. San Francisco and San Diego, same thing. San Diego's going to throw out like probably a bullpen game here, and San Francisco has been doing pretty much the same recently. So San Diego, we'll see what the lineup they roll out. If they roll out their full lineup, then I'm interested. San Francisco, I've been playing them a lot this year. They're probably going to throw out a ton of righties, but then again, you really don't have the incentive to pitch hit. I don't know if they're really going to match up or what's going on there. So, I mean, not too much. So I think San Diego could be a lower owned cash stack. More down the line, like I said, I'd probably take like the Dodgers. I think would definitely be in play. Atlanta's going to have time off also, so they'd probably be in play more so than San Diego. But keep San Diego in mind as like maybe a fifth or sixth stack for cash. So Atlanta and Miami, Hernandez has had a stretch where he's pitched well, but he hasn't been doing well recently. Max Fried will probably go out there and be given like a full game, which is good. He doesn't have a ton of K upside, but Miami strikes out a little bit more than normal. So they'll probably throw out all right-handed lineups. So I think Fried's definitely in play also as somebody probably more in the mid-range. So keep him in mind in your player pool. And Hernandez is definitely a fade. Again, if the Braves are out there full lineup because they're going to be resting for a while, so I think they'd fall right under Houston or up there with Seattle as stacks that I'd really like today, especially against Hernandez as a pitcher. And Miami, not interested in it at all. And then our final game here, the Dodgers and Colorado. Noah Davis, no thank you. Clayton Kershaw, I think he goes out there and gets a full game, 85, 90 pitches. They're sort of trying to get him ramped up, coming back after injury. And again, he'll have like his regular rest before they start the playoffs. I think you see a full Dodger lineup here, but even like I've said in all these videos, even their B team is better than probably most average teams first. I mean, their B team lineup's going to be better than Cincinnati's like A team lineup today. So I think definitely they're in play bat wise. And so just going back over things again, Ohtani and Kershaw are the ones I like. Gonzalez as an SP2. Burns, if he's in there, Fried is there in there, could be SP2s if you're going to pay up. I think definitely looking at stacks, you're probably going to want to play Houston, Atlanta, the Dodgers. Seattle has a great matchup against Detroit and should have their full lineup out there. So, and value, like I said, looking at some of the Cubs. I'm looking at like Minnesota, looking at the White Sox. So, pretty much the slate. Again, we'll have our cores out there probably by like 3:30 once we start to see some of these lineups on FSi DFS, and you can sign up for the monthly package, and it will cover today and the rest of the postseason for you. So, again, for McKinley and I, thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Hope we helped a lot of you this season. Loved interacting with you guys, and friending you on Twitter and on Discord, and having some great conversations about baseball. It's been a grind, but it's been a labor of love, and just all of you watching, it's just really made it worthwhile. So, and thank you so much for those of you who have we've helped with the videos, and you've sent us tips either through like YouTube or through the link in our description of the video there too. We do this free of charge, but your little monetary thank yous here and there, really are appreciated too. So again, thank you for a great season. I'll be transitioning over into EL basketball. That's also going to be free of charge on FSi DFS. So if you want a little midday like DFS action and you don't play soccer, it's something that's like highly tilting, but like kind of fun to do there also. So something else to check out on our channel. It'll be free of charge, and we'll be posting some content that will start on Thursday. So that's what we have going on. So once again, thank you for a phenomenal regular season. Look forward to the postseason. And, if you take postseason baseball off, that's perfectly fine. Hopefully we'll see you next year watching these videos for the MLB season again. So I'm MegaRuler31, signing off potentially for the last time here. We'll try to get some playoff videos, but if we don't, like I said, we've got you covered in here, because you can just go to FSi DFS and you'll get our cores and thoughts on the slate, and you can talk to McKinley and I in the Discord, and we'll help answer any questions there, and let's make some money in this postseason, and hope everybody has a safe and happy holiday season, and we'll see you in the spring.